At Live for Life, Grant said that you guys are no longer playing boundary and field. At that point, at least, are you still going with that, and why that?
We do,
change?
but
Are
we
you doing-
don't.
Okay.
When you play tempo offenses like ours, you can't switch the side of the field. So, those guys have to learn both boundary and field corner just because you don't have time to flip sides.
How much of a change is that from years past, maybe?
It's a big change, especially from the last 2 years we've been here, because our guys usually play to the field, and there's certain calls and techniques that you play to the field, then there's certain techniques that you play to the boundary, and we like to get those guys to master those, but now they got to master both, so it just makes them more complete anyway.
And where are you guys in terms of putting in nickel dime packages? Is that even in the mix now, or is
Yeah,
that
we're in the nickel. We haven't done dime yet, but we put some extra DBs in and just kind of filling it out. We're just trying to get the 5 best guys on the field, whether it's an extra safety or an extra corner, just depending on what the situation is.
I know it's not your specific position, but can you talk about the depth at safety as well, and who are some of the guys who are fighting for playing time there?
Yeah, well, obviously, we have Malik and Marcus are probably the front runners. Marcus is having a really good camp. Troy Apke is coming off of an injury, and he's had a really good camp so far. And then there's, Koa Farmer is playing pretty well, so he's a guy that's competing for that 3rd spot and that 4th spot. And then Nick Scott, and then some of those young guys, the redshirt freshmen, those guys are having opportunities to grow and get some reps, and they're showing some flashes. That's Patrician and Jarvis, and those guys are flashing, so we'll see how this thing plays out.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different. I mean, the tempo, just the different routes you'll see. I mean, from last year, this year, there's a lot of double moves and just speed. There's speed offense. But I think they've adjusted to it really well. I think we've adjusted to it really well. I mean, it keeps us in shape, and it's just going to be a fast-paced game.
Does it make you a better defense going up against an offense like this that a lot of
I think it
teams
makes
seem to
us
run now?
definitely a better defense. I mean, we're definitely more physically and mentally fit. I mean, just how fast they go, you have to be on top of your game. You just can't. You got to look to the sideline, get your call, and just be ready.
Coach Smith was talking about the elimination of boundary and field footer, and the fact you have to learn to play both because there's not time against up-tempo offense. It's like your own the flip sides. How difficult has that been, and is that a good thing?
I think by the time now, most of the guys, I know me, John, Christian, Jordan Smith, Amani, we've been here a couple of years, so we understand the system, so we know both sides of the ball. But I mean both sides of the field, so field and boundary. So I think it hasn't been too tough an adjustment. It's just one of those things. You just see different looks, and you just gotta recognize them.
James said earlier that 1 to 105, there's more talent in this roster than he's ever had here. What evidence have you seen of that so far in camp?
I think the main evidence of that is just how deep we are at each position. From the receivers to the running backs to the secondary. I think it's a lot of competition. Like we're not coming out here and guys understand that they have to fight for their position each and every day. Like there's nothing guaranteed. So with the younger guys pushing the older guys, I think it's going to be really beneficial for us when the games come.
Does that mean fewer reps for development like you practiced? Might have had in the past?
No, it doesn't mean fewer reps. It just means that you have to take advantage of each and every rep, because if you don't, then you have somebody right behind you coming up to try to take your spot.